My beloved child, I know the world around you never agrees to be silent. It speaks from every direction. At times sweet as honey, at times forceful like the sound of battle drums, and at times clothed in the appearance of opportunity, success, freedom, and happiness. It calls to you with radiant promises, making you believe that if you only take one more step, grasp one more thing, receive one more admiring glance, then the emptiness in your heart will finally cease. But my child, what the world gives is often like mist upon the morning grass. Beautiful for a moment, then gone when the sun rises. It may excite you for a while, but afterward it leaves behind an even deeper void within you. It may lift you high with praise, then abandon you when the crowd turns another way. It may give you laughter in the midst of many people, but it will not sit beside you when the room grows dark and your heart begins to tremble in silence. I do not say this to make you afraid of life, nor do I want you to look at everything with suspicious eyes. I only want you to stay awake, because not every light leads to dawn, and not every broad road leads you to life. There are things that look like freedom, yet the farther you walk, the more bound you become. There are joys that seem to heal, but afterward, they make the wound within you bleed even more. There are places where you are applauded, but you must trade your purity in order to remain there. There are voices that make you feel important, yet pull you far from my voice, far from the peace that only I can place within your heart. Do not mistake noise for life, attention for love, or intense emotion for holy guidance. I am different, my child. I do not come to you with empty promises only to leave when you are weak. I do not love you by seasons. I do not measure your worth by your achievements. And I do not change my heart according to your success or failure. I do not invite you onto a stage to receive applause from the world. I invite you into a deeper purpose, where you come to know who you are in my eyes. I do not cover you with an outward glow to hide the weariness within. I touch the deepest hidden places, where you once buried fear, shame, wounds, and questions you never dared to speak aloud. I do not give you a fragile joy dependent on circumstances. I give you a peace that can stand firm even in the storm, like a lamp protected in the Father's hand. Therefore, my child, choose life. Do not choose me the way people choose a final shelter, after they have exhausted themselves chasing every other road. Do not wait until the pleasures that once intoxicated you become bitter before you remember my call. Do not allow your heart to grow hard, because you have heard me call so many times and kept postponing it for another day. Today is a gift. This moment is a doorway. The stirring that is touching you is not accidental. It is mercy gently shaking your shoulder, reminding you that there is still time to return. There is still light upon the path. There are still arms open wide. And there is still a table prepared for the child who knows how to return to their Father. Remember Zacchaeus, the man who once lived among money, status, and the distance of others. He may have possessed many things others desired, yet within him there remained an emptiness that wealth could not fill. When I passed through that town, he did not stand among the crowd with an appearance of greatness. He climbed a sycamore tree, like someone thirsting to see what was real. And I looked up and called him by name. Do you see? I did not wait for him to make himself worthy before I came to his house. I stepped into the place people thought I should not enter. My presence did what rules, fear, and contempt could not do. It turned his heart in a new direction. From a man who held everything for himself, he became one who knew how to release, to make restitution, and to step into a new life. You are the same. I do not call you to humiliate you before the crowd. I call you by name to bring you down from where you have been hiding and to enter the inner house of your soul with restoring love. Do not delay, my beloved child. Delay sometimes wears the clothing of wisdom, but inside it is a silent trap. It tells you to wait a little longer, to try one more time, to keep holding that thing a little longer, to return only after you have satisfied all your present desires. But my child, every time you say later to the light, darkness gains another opportunity to become familiar with your heart. Every time you place me at the bottom of your list, other voices will push in and distract you. I do not want you to lose your sensitivity to my voice. I do not want the day of regret to become your teacher, when today mercy could lead you more gently. Return while you can still hear the call. Let go while your heart can still ache before what is wrong. Choose me while there is still a thirst within you for what is true. I love you. And that love is not a beautiful phrase meant to comfort you for only a passing moment. That love has passed through pain, has carried the burden, and has opened a way so that you do not have to remain imprisoned in what is old. My love does not merely forgive you and then leave you as you were. My love restores, rebuilds, cleanses, renews, and teaches you to walk in freedom. I do not only want to receive you back as someone who survived brokenness. I want to clothe you with new dignity, place new courage within you, and give you new eyes to see life through my light. No stain is greater than my grace. No past is deeper than my hand can reach. No night is so dark that I cannot call you out of it with the dawn. Now open your heart before me. Do not close it because of shame. Do not hide because you fear I am disappointed. I already know everything, and I am still here. Speak to me, in truth, not with words polished to appear strong. Come to me like a child in the night, needing no proof, needing no long explanation, needing only to call, Father, I need you. Place before me the things you have held for too long, the desires that have exhausted you, the fears that have made you delay, the laughter on the outside that hides tears within. I do not distance myself from your weakness. I draw near precisely where you are most honest. And when you call, I will not turn my back. When you return, I will not bring up your failures in order to crush you. When you release the old, I will not leave your hands empty in despair. I will pour into you true life, true peace, true joy, and a purpose that cannot be swept away by the winds of this world. Choose me today, my beloved child, not because you are being forced, but because you are loved. Not because you have run out of choices, but because you have recognized the only choice that can make you fully alive. My voice is still whispering, persistent and gentle. My child, return while there is still time. The door is still open. The light is still waiting. The Father's arms are still outstretched, and the life I have for you is still greater than everything the world has ever promised, but could never give. My beloved child, there will come a day when people look back at the things they once took lightly, and their hearts will tremble with regret. There will be groans rising from the deepest places of the human heart, not because they were never warned, but because they heard and ignored. Not because I never called, but because they grew used to delaying until the call became distant. There will be those who wish they had stopped earlier, released what was wrong more quickly, and stopped comforting themselves with weak reasons to continue walking on a path that made their hearts grow darker. They will remember the times I gently touched their conscience, the times peace left them like evening light fading over the mountains, the times they clearly knew they had to return but chose to say, tomorrow. But, my child, Tomorrow does not always belong to mankind. Time is not an endless river for anyone to spend however they please. It is like small grains of sand slipping through the fingers, quietly and steadily. And when you realize you have lost too much, there is not always another opportunity to begin again. But listen to me carefully, my child. This moment is not yet a closed door. If this word can still touch your heart, if there is still a quiet trembling within you, if you still feel a stirring that longs to return to what is pure, then that is a sign that I am still calling you with mercy. I do not bring this reminder to burden you with fear, but to draw you out of the land that has been wearing you down. My arms have not closed. My grace has not run dry. My love is still like a spring flowing through dry places, reaching even the regions you thought no longer held life. I do not stand far away watching you stumble only to condemn you with cold eyes. I am the Father walking out onto the road, waiting for the shape of my child returning from afar, ready to place a new robe on your shoulders, ready to wipe the dust from your feet, ready to call you beloved before you even have time to explain all your mistakes. Remember the prodigal son in the old story. He left home with the confidence that freedom meant living according to his own will, spending the portion he wanted, going where no one would remind him and no one would stop him soon. But the place he thought was freedom became a land of hunger. The feasts quickly ended, the laughter quickly faded, and those who once surrounded him also left when he had nothing left to give. And when he sat in that low place, he remembered his father's house. Do you see? What saved him was not perfection, but the decision to rise and return. He did not come back with a crown on his head, with achievements in his hands, or with an appearance worthy of pride. He returned with a broken heart and a small hope that his father still loved him, and his father ran to him. The father did not make him stand outside the gate to be shamed. He did not demand that he repay every debt before entering the house. The father embraced him first, restored him first, and called him son first. I will do the same for you, if today you are willing to rise and return. Therefore, stop negotiating with what has pulled you out of the light again and again. Do not call bondage safety simply because you have grown used to it. Do not call delay wisdom when your heart knows clearly that it is only the fear of obedience. There are habits that have stolen the clarity from your eyes. There are relationships that have made you trade away your peace. There are choices that have pushed you into tears again and again, and yet you still try to hold on because you fear emptiness, fear beginning again, and fear being misunderstood. But I tell you, whatever draws you away from me is not worthy to remain on the throne of your life. Whatever makes you hide cannot be a gift from the light. Whatever causes you to lose your purity cannot lead you into abundant life. Let it go, not because I want to take away your joy, but because I know that what you are holding has long been quietly taking away your freedom. I do not require you to come before me looking flawless. I only ask whether your heart is sincere. I am not looking for a beautiful performance from you. I am looking for a heart willing to open the door. I do not need you to use polished words to cover what you are struggling with. Come to me honestly, even if your words tremble, even if your eyes are still wet, even if you do not yet know where to begin changing. One sincere response is worth more than 1,000 beautiful promises without obedience. One step back toward me while your heart is still aching is more precious than many years standing still with an outward appearance of righteousness while inwardly remaining far away. You do not need to pretend to be strong before me. I have seen everything, and I still call you my child. Yet, my beloved child, do not mistake my mercy for permission to continue living in what darkens you. Grace is not a cloak to hide stubbornness. My love does not lull you to sleep in a dangerous place. It awakens you so you can step out. When I remind you to let go, it is not a threat, but the Father's hand pulling you back from the edge of the cliff. When I make your heart uneasy before a wrong choice, it is not punishment, but a lamp placed before a turning point. When I allow you to no longer find joy in what once enticed you, it is because I am healing the appetite within you, so that you no longer crave what drains you. Do not resist that help. Do not silence that gentle call. With your own reasoning, decide today, not with an emotion that rises and fades, but with deep surrender. Lay down the things you know have expired in your life. Leave the places that make you live with two faces. Stop feeding the thoughts that pull your heart away from the light. Let me enter even the most hidden rooms within you, the places you once locked because of shame or fear of being touched. I do not enter to destroy you. I enter to cleanse, to heal, to renew, and to return to you the peace you thought you had lost forever. The old must be laid down so the new can have room to spring forth. The old season must close so a new field can be sown. You cannot cling to chains while asking for wings. You cannot hold darkness in your hands while asking me to fill you with light. And when you return, do not fear that your first steps are still weak. I will teach you to walk again in purity. I will teach you to love what is right without pride, to hate what is wrong without bitterness, to stand firm while remaining gentle, to be decisive while still full of mercy. I will place clarity within you so you can recognize what is my voice, what is the voice of fear, and what is the voice of old habits. I will help you rebuild the walls that have fallen, reopen the springs that have been blocked, and rekindle the lamp that once flickered in the depth of your soul. You do not return alone. Every step you take toward me is upheld by mercy. Every time you choose the light, heaven rejoices. Every time you say, I no longer want to live far from the Father, in that very moment a new journey begins. So, my child, do not wait until tears become the words of belated regret. Do not let tomorrow steal today's obedience. Do not let what is temporary rob you of the life created for light. Return as soon as you can still hear my voice. Open your heart as soon as you can still feel my touch. Let go of what is pulling you down and take my hand. I do not call you to shame you. I call you to bring you home. I do not remind you in order to end your story. I remind you because I want to write new pages with grace, restoration, gentle light, and tireless love. Return, my beloved child. The door is still open, the Father is still waiting, and what I have prepared for you is still more beautiful than everything you are afraid to let go, my child. When you ask me how to walk with me each day, I do not lead you to a distant formula, nor do I place before you heavy rituals that weary your heart. I call you back to what is purest and most enduring. Live in truth, not only speaking truth when you stand before many people, not only seeking truth when tears fall in prayer, and not only holding truth in moments when you feel strong. Truth must become the breath of your life, soaking into the way you think, the way you love, the way you remain silent, the way you answer, and the way you choose to go forward or stop. There are things that seem very small in the eyes of the world, yet in my eyes they are precious like a fragrant offering. A word you choose not to say because you know it would wound someone. A decision you change because you recognize your motive is not pure. A step you slow down because you do not want to run ahead of my will. A moment when you choose gentleness instead of needing to win. It is in those hidden things that I see your faithfulness. Do not think that I am present only in solemn hours, where songs rise and your hands are lifted high. I am with you when you sit at the table, when you speak with a loved one, when you write a message, when you plan for tomorrow, when you face an emotion you cannot name. And even when you carry things you do not have the courage to tell anyone. I do not enter your life like a guest who visits only the cleanest rooms. I am your Father, and I want to dwell in the whole house of your life. The bright places, the dark places, the orderly places, the still messy places, the places you are proud of, and the places you fear to show. Because I love you, I care about every detail. I do not take lightly the words you speak silently in your heart. I do not overlook the glance you give another person. And I am not indifferent to choices that seem small. Everything within you matters to me, because you are my child. At times you want wisdom to come like a great voice, shaking every doubt. But many times I teach you through a very gentle reminder, soft as wind passing through the mind. Stop. Wait a little longer. Do not answer while you are heated. Do not step into that place. Examine your heart again. Speak the truth, but with love. That voice does not shove you, does not frighten you, and does not force you with heaviness. That voice is gentle, pure, steady, and it can only be heard clearly when you are willing to become quiet before me. When your heart is filled with the noise of anger, anxiety, comparison, and haste, you will easily mistake every strong emotion for guidance. But when you settle down, when you remove your hand from impulsive reactions, when you allow me to have the final word in your mind, you will realize that I was never silent. You simply needed to become still enough to hear. Remember Samuel when he was still a child in the temple. My voice calling him did not thunder across the sky, nor did it come with a radiant army of angels that amazed everyone. I called him in the night, when everything had become quiet, while the lamps were still burning softly. At first he did not recognize it, but when he was guided to say that he was listening, his heart opened before my voice. You are the same. I do not always call you in the crowd. Sometimes I call you in the night of waiting, in the silence after a conversation, in a gentle uneasiness, when you're about to choose what is not right, in a deep peace, when you step into what I have prepared. Do not despise small reminders. Do not be careless with peace. Do not ignore a soft call just because it is not loud. Many great doors in your life will open through very small acts of obedience. Therefore, when you ask me for wisdom, do not come to me like a stranger afraid of being scolded. Come as a child returning to the Father. I am not stingy with clarity, nor do I delight in watching you confused. I do not place you at a crossroads and then fold my arms, watching you lose your way. I am the one who guides by light, the Father who knows what you need before you can name it. If your heart truly wants to walk in the right path, I will teach you. If you are willing to be corrected, I will realign you with mercy. If you are weak, I will uphold you. If you do not yet understand, I will patiently open your eyes little by little. I do not despise the one who needs help. I gladly lift up the one who seeks me. But my beloved child, learn to distinguish between burning emotion and holy guidance. There are things that make your heart tremble, but not every trembling is an invitation. There are opportunities that look bright, but if they pull you away from purity, they do not come from me. There are praises that make you feel excited, but if they feed pride, you must know how to lay them down. I do not want to extinguish the fire within you. I am the one who placed that fire in you, so that you would love what is good, hate falsehood, have compassion for the suffering, and long for what is noble. But fire must be kept within the hearth of truth, so that it warms rather than burns down, shines rather than blinds, and moves you toward obedience rather than sweeping you into haste. I created you to carry both passion and discernment. You do not need to choose between a tender heart and a steady mind. In me you can love deeply without being blind. Be zealous without being chaotic. Be strong without becoming hard, and be gentle without becoming weak. Do not let the current of the crowd carry you away like a rushing river. Do not let the voice of society make you forget my voice. Do not let passing emotions become the throne that governs your decisions. Bring every thought before me, so my light can examine it, my peace can guard it, and my wisdom can guide it. When you do this, you will no longer live by reaction, but by holy awareness. And then, day by day, you will understand that living in me does not mean leaving ordinary life, but allowing me to sanctify that very ordinary life. A kind word, an upright choice, a timely silence, a deed no one sees, a sincere apology, an act of forgiveness without display. All of these can become places where I reveal my presence. Let your heart burn for me, but do not let it burn outside my guidance. Let your mind be anchored in me, so you do not drift with fear or wounded pride. Live in truth when no one is watching, because that is where your love for me becomes most real. I am teaching you not only so you may know the way, but so that you yourself may become a lamp of peace for those who are still lost. Stay close to me, my child. In that nearness, you will find clarity. In that obedience, you will find freedom. And in that truth, you will live each day as one walking beneath the loving gaze of the Father. You will see that my glory is not only a distant light for you to look toward with longing. That glory will seep into the rhythm of your life, into the way you walk through what is unclear, into the way you respond when misunderstood, into the gentleness of your eyes, into the purity of your words, and into the quiet strength with which you choose forgiveness instead of bitterness. People will draw near to you, not because you appear perfect, but because they sense something genuine within you. They will recognize a stream of life flowing through you, and that stream does not come from your talent, status, or wisdom. It comes from me, the one who lifted you up when no one knew how deeply you had fallen, the one who kept you through the nights when you thought you could not go on. Therefore, do not prepare for the coming season with defensiveness, and do not put on the armor of pride to avoid being wounded again. What you need is not to become harder, but to become softer in my hands. Not to learn how to control everything, but to learn deeper surrender. Not to stand before me as one afraid of being judged, but to draw near to me as a child called by name. I do not bring you into the holy place to expose you in shame, but to open your eyes to what I planted within you long ago. I do not lead you into stillness to isolate you, but so you can hear my voice more clearly than every noise. Closed doors are not always punishment. Sometimes they are my mercy, keeping you from roads that would wear you down. Remember the story of the potter that the prophet Jeremiah saw. When the vessel in the potter's hands did not take shape as intended, he did not throw it away as something worthless. He placed the clay back on the wheel and shaped it again from the beginning, patiently forming another vessel according to his will. You are the same, my beloved child. There may have been plans that did not come to pass, dreams that seemed beautiful but dissolved in your hands, relationships you thought would walk with you to the end, yet eventually left, but I have not abandoned you on the wheel of life. I still hold you in my hands. I am not hurried, not harsh, and not contemptuous of the places where pressure has made you misshapen. I know where to press, where to lift, where to soften, and where to preserve. What you call being broken, in my hands can become recreation. What you call delay, in my wisdom, may be the timing needed for a new form to be completed. So, do not be afraid when certain old dreams quietly come to an end. Not everything that dies is failure. There are seeds that must fall into the earth before they rise as harvest. There are desires I allow to dry up, not to hurt you, but to free you from a version too small of what I truly have for you. You once thought you had lost something precious, but then you will see that I am opening a greater depth, a wider path, and a more enduring maturity. This season has not come to bury you. It only buries what has expired, the burdens that no longer belong to you, and the old ways of thinking that cannot follow you into the place where I am leading you. Perhaps right now you see only scattered pieces, an unfulfilled promise, a closed door, a changing relationship, a lingering pain, a silence that leaves you confused. But I see the whole picture. I am weaving every thread with the precision of love, and even the darkest shades are not wasted in my hands. Every time you choose to trust me amid doubt, every time you keep your heart pure when you have reason to become bitter, every time you continue walking, though your tears have not yet dried, all of it is becoming holy material for your future. Not one tear is taken lightly by me. Not one moment of waiting is ignored by me. Not one act of obedience from you is meaningless in my sight. Then one day, you will look back and understand why I allowed you to pass through this road. You will realize that the delay protected you. The loss made you lighter. The loneliness brought you closer to me. And the silence trained you to listen more deeply. Then you will no longer ask me why the old vessel had to break, because you will see that the new vessel carries a beauty that could not have existed without passing through my repairing hands. Be at peace, my child. I am not mistaken in what I am doing. My hand has not slipped while shaping your life. I have not forgotten the word I placed upon you. Remain in my hands, humble, pure, steadfast, and trusting. What I pour into you will not run dry. What I build within you will not collapse. And what I unfold through you will become a gentle testimony that my love can make new everything that once seemed shattered.